students, we are back, and this is going to be kind of the second version of this particular talk. And yesterday I had my Stegasaurus's cardboard body cut out, and I started to tape in sections of the body. And so I would wad up newspaper and I taped it. And there is a mess ton of tape. In order to get these little spikes to stick in, I cut a split down the middle after I taped it. I cut a split into these sections, and I shoved my little spikes down in there, and I taped them into place. It's going to be a whole lot of fun going back and paper macheing these, I just have to say. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. I just lied. This part of the box, or this part, was a cereal box that I happen to have in my kitchen. I have some old bills that I have already paid that are stuffed in the inside of this body. What I'm doing right now, I've run into the problem that when I started making the legs, I ran out of newspaper at my own house, which isn't such a big deal. But, well, it is a big deal. I needed more paper. But what I noticed is that my sculpture is getting pretty heavy. And if I want these legs to be able to support the weight of the body, I needed to reinforce them. So I've gone back and I cut little discs out of cardboard. So there's the little discs for the back legs, and I cut a leg, essentially the rest of the hind legs out of cardboard. So kind of my skeleton. That's what I'm trying to get at. And there's my front legs. Now I need to be able to connect these to this. And I'm bending this around, and I got some problems. That's really, really, really flexible. So what I'm doing is I cut out slips of cardboard, and I'm either going to, if I wanted to, I could slide these up, and the inside of this material right here, this is actually bubble wrap. I could do that, but right now, in the interest of saving some time with you guys, I am going to kind of come up on the inside here, and I'm just going to tape that down. And I'm going to leave this sticking out a little bit, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back leg and I'm going to joint that in like that, and I'm going to tape those together, and that's going to give me the double strength. Now, if I really wanted to, I could get a little tricky. I could, if I had some brads or something like that, poke a hole through this, poke a hole through the stability area, poke a hole through this, and then I could joint it. But I don't really want to joint it. But that is something, if you wanted a movable object, there's no reason why you can't create sculptures that have a moving component. So I have my stuff under here. I'm taping this. What else I'm kind of running into? I'm a little afraid. See, that's kind of real loose there. What I should have probably done initially, and what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to untape this. I'm going to lift that leg up, and I'm going to tape this cardboard piece straight to the actual body of my dinosaur. So you see that under there. I'm going to tape that a couple more times to make sure it's nice and secure. I kind of like demonstrating in such a way where my plan isn't completely formulated, because I think it's important for you to know that plans change, and I don't know everything, and you're not going to know everything, and that's totally okay. Art is so much, believe it or not, the scientific method. We experiment, we play, we go back, we redo, we realize, oh, that's going to be a weird connection. I want the leg to stick out just enough, so I'm going to have to kind of split these a little bit like that to determine how far I want the leg to be close to the body versus how far I want the legs to be able to stick out. So if you notice, as you're looking at my piece, I have a crap ton of masking tape. This might be something that requires, depending on the size of it, mine's pretty big, might require almost an entire roll of tape. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and continue. Well, here, I'm going to go ahead and finish this particular leg. I have a picture that I'm working from. And I have a photo that I'm working from, so I'm going to play around with these. I might have to untape these and retape these as I get the legs on here several times until I get it so that it's actually standing up the way that I want it to stand up. And for me, if I'm recreating an animal, it's kind of important for me to have something that's anatomically correct, unless this is completely from my imagination. So as I'm working on this, I am pulling up different skeletons of Stegasauruses and that kind of stuff. I think I have actually way too many of these spikes, and I might just keep them just because they took a really long time to make. But I do try to keep things as anatomically correct as possible when I'm doing this. If you're doing a dragon, look at dinosaurs and look at dragons from around the world, different cultural dragons, and see, you know, what they look like. And, you know, if you wanted to create a man cat or something like that, you know, take a look at different sculptures and different skeletons and stuff and see what you want to incorporate. And, you know, if you're, and that's not necessarily just this project, that's just in general. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and I will come back to it later.
Okay, so you've seen that now I have this front leg down, I have this back leg taped down, I have third back leg taped down. Don't know if you can see that under there. The legs I still need to pack with newspaper to get them fully to the point where I need them. I noticed that when I stood him up, I wonder if I can lift that up. Of course it's okay, well, he's just going to have to work this way. Well, when I've gone to set him down, which you totally cannot see, this is completely absurd, he tilts back, and the back end, his tail back here is way too heavy. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take little wads of newspaper, a roll of newspaper, and stick them on the bottom of each of his feet to help prop him up a little bit. But this is my dinosaur as we are going along. Whee! And so this is where I'm at for today. And tomorrow I hope to go ahead and start on my flour water paste mixture to start creating the texture on him and creating the final surface before he gets painted. So that's it for today.